Have you guys heard the story of the woman that danced with the devil?
One thing to not like your own twin sister, but it's another when you try to take her out your whole lives. Scary story time. This story comes from this Haitian girl and
but like definitely like they're seers, they can see things, they can feel things, and even like tell you if you're about to pass on. Because I know like a twin.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just.
Hey guys, I'm Jenny and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teach you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It show you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, I show you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell. So if you end up buying for some money and you're just trying to get some money, and I even have some easy powerful spell to win game of chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to senders. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. As long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copying. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, content every day for you guys to enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much, your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my channel, okay? Love you guys. Mwah. Hey guys, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny, and I hope you're ready for another spooky story time, because I have so many stories for you, and these stories are so good. Have you ever heard of a jumelle? Well, a jumelle is a twin in French or Creole.
So I have a spooky story for you, and this one involves twin telepathy.
Now, the idea of twin telepathy is very straightforward. It's the idea that twins, particularly identical twins, have the ability to communicate telepathically. So our story for the night focuses on a pair of two identical twin girls. So on the morning in question, the two twin girls and their brother are home alone. One of the twins comes downstairs for breakfast, turns on a CD that she has in the kitchen. We'll say it's something like Creed or Smash Mouth, very 90s, and it's super loud. Now, the brother who follows her into the kitchen is basically like, whoa, this is entirely too loud. I need you to turn this down. And so this sister, being kind of an asshole, is giving him a hard time, but eventually does turn it down. And this is when she sits down at the table and starts plucking her eyebrows. So the brother sees her doing it and playfully asks what the occasion is. And of course, the sister that's plucking her eyebrows is like, oh, nothing, just want to look nice. And this is when the other twin, who happens to be sitting in the living room, says it's not for nothing. She's not trying to just look nice. She's going to a party. Now, the twin that's at the table plucking her eyebrows shoots a glance over to her sister and calls her a rat. And this is when the older brother steps in and says, hey, Mom and Dad specifically told me no parties. There is literally not much else you guys cannot do, but you cannot have a party. This is when the sister, who's getting herself done up and ready to go out for the day, says that she's not having a party because Mom and Dad didn't say that they couldn't have a party. They said they couldn't have a party at the house. And technically, she's not breaking any rules because the party's not at their mom and dad's house. It's at one of her friend's house. Now, the brother, seeing the cleverness in his sister's argument, has no leg to stand on, and there's not really much he can do about it. So she continues to pluck her eyebrows, and then she gets to like one of these really tender spots towards like the bridge of your nose, and that's when the other sister, who's been chilling out in the living room thus far, starts to tear up and sneeze uncontrollably. And of course, the other sister looks over there, and this is when the other twin sister, after she finishes her sneezing spell, says, hey, can you chill out with that? Now, the sister who's sitting at the table plucking her eyebrows apologizes, and that's when she retorts back, well, yeah, hey, I'm gonna stop doing this, but what the hell happened in PE the other day? My shin was killing me. To which the sister who'd been chilling out in the living room says, yeah, my bad, sorry about that. I hit my leg on the bleachers and I got a really big bruise and a little bit of bleeding, so if that's what you felt, my bad. So the other brother, who's grown up with his twin sisters their entire life, is pretty familiar with this happening, but it's not something he'll ever get used to. It's always weird and it's always different. So the sister at the table finishes plucking her eyebrows and she gets up to leave for the day. She doesn't have any plans to come back that afternoon, but she does ask her sister if she can borrow the CD. And of course, her sister, being a good sister, says, yes, just make sure you bring it back in one piece. And after that, the sister leaves, and it's just the one who was sitting on the couch and the older brother. Now, the older brother takes a bit of pity on the one who's been left behind, and he says, well, I'll tell you what, since it's just me and you this afternoon, why don't we have a pizza party and we'll watch some basketball games and just chill out? Of course, the sister, being a homebody, is pretty okay with this, and that's the plan. So later that evening, the brother and sister are watching TV in the living room. The other twin had gone out for the day. They hadn't seen her for a while. And all of a sudden, while they're eating pizza, the brother turns up the TV, and the CD that was in the CD player starts playing really loud. We'll say it's something like All Stars or something. It's just obnoxiously loud. So the brother tells the twin sister who's at the house with him to go and turn it off. And so she does. She goes and turns it off. So he goes back to turning up the TV and the radio starts playing again, the same CD. And this is when the twin sister who's at the house starts to get a really bad vibe. So she walks over to the CD player to take the CD out, and there's no CD in there. The CD is gone. This is when the sister realizes that as the brother turns the TV volume up, the sound on the TV, or I guess the Smash Mouth All-Star song, gets louder and louder. And it goes the other way when he turns the volume down. And this is when she gets this really big knot in her stomach and she bowls over. She's in intense pain. And this is when she starts crying and she says, I know where she is. I know what happened to her. And she's breaking down right in front of the brother. Now the brother is like, this escalated super quickly. I don't know what the hell just happened, but he's trying to get his sister to communicate with him. And this is when the sister says, we need to get in the car and go. Now, the older brother is looking at her like, no, we need to go to the hospital if you're bowling over like this. And the sister is insistent, no, we need to go right now. Now, the brother, again, is really just having a gap right now because he's trying to figure out how he went from enjoying pizza and a basketball game to seeing his sister doubled over on the floor and listening to a CD play that hasn't been in the CD player all day. So he is thoroughly creeped out at this point. But because he wants his sister to chill out, he decides that he's going to heed her advice, and they get in the car and they start driving. Now, the sister is still bowled over in pain at this point, but she's telling him to go certain directions. Take a left here on Fifth Ave, go west on North Street. And eventually they get to a place in the road where they see a car. And this car has swerved off the road and is head first in a ditch. And this is when the sister says, "That's the car right there." So as they approach the vehicle, the brother starts to get a knot in his stomach as well because he recognizes the car. It's his sister's car. This was the car that was supposed to take her to the party later that evening, and now it's headfirst in a ditch. So he stops his car, he rushes over to the vehicle, and his sister is in there. She's bleeding pretty badly, her head's banged up, but she is coherent, and she makes a moan as he opens the door. So he's grateful. Now, luckily, they do have their cell phones, and the EMTs come, they check the sister out, and they take her away. But before they do that, the twin who was in the accident says, "I hoped you would hear me, and I hoped you would come, and I'm so thankful you found me." Now, the brother's standing there looking at the both of them like they're crazy, and again, he's just nearly had a heart attack because the entire event was traumatic and super unfamiliar. But the twins look at him and say, "It's just another day in the life." So anyways, I want to know what you guys are thinking about that. Let me know if you think this was sheer coincidence, and if so, how do you explain the CD player playing with no CD, and how do you justify the sister knowing where the other sister was going to be despite not having seen her all day? And of course, drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you think this was a genuine instance of twin telepathy, or maybe it was just a bond so strong between the twins that the other could feel the other one's pain legitimately. Anyways, drop your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next video.
The more I read into this story time, the worse it got. You know that saying, when someone reveals who they really are, you should probably believe them? That could not apply more to the story time that I got from a girl named Megan, not her real name, who told me the story about how she dated a guy in a cult. Megan first saw this guy when she was working at a fast food restaurant. She had just gotten off a shift and was sitting in her car afterward waiting to go home. She sees this tall, attractive man with dark hair and plugs in his ears walk up to the motorcycle parked next to her, and he looks in through her window. They make eye contact. She didn't know what to do, so she just like awkwardly waved. And she said when they locked eyes, her head went fuzzy, which was a weird feeling, but she really didn't associate it with him. So she waves at him, he kind of waves back, he gets on his bike and he drives away. She thought really nothing of it. She thought she was never going to see him again until he pulls back through the drive-through line while she was working. She was outside taking orders, and he pulls up in a big black truck. This time it's nighttime, but she recognizes him immediately, and she feels this little flutter of excitement that he's back. So she's making like light conversation with him as she's taking his order, and he asks for her number. She gives it to him, he pulls forward, and she said that whole time, like he was in line, she felt like he was watching her through his window, even though his windows were tinted, and she couldn't see him. And that feeling didn't let up until he pulled out of the line and got on the highway. Later on, he texts her, they talk for a little bit. I don't know how long it was before they actually go out, but eventually he takes her on a date. And she said he had this darkness to him, but she liked it. It was kind of like a bad boy status. And they eventually start dating. But almost off the bat, she noticed these huge red flags flying high about his jealousy issues. He was immediately jealous of almost all the men in her life, like her coworkers, her friends' boyfriends, whatever. But he ends up opening up to her about how he had been cheated on in the past and really never moved on from it. He also at this time opens up to her about some other things that are off-putting to her, like he's driving without a license and he's part of a motorcycle gang. He also really seemed like he didn't want to be found. He was not big on social media, and he gave the impression that he was like running or hiding from something. But again, she thought this was just part of like his allure, his like bad boyness. But he doesn't give her any cheater flags or anything like that. She meets his family. They're living in LA. He takes her there for a holiday. She spends the night. Everybody's cool. She would go over to his place a lot. He would take her out on evening rides on the bike. She met some of his friends, and she was really feeling him too. They were actually really happy despite his darkness. So around this time, she decides that she's going to get 2 spots on her chest pierced, and she also gets a thigh tattoo. She's really excited about this. She'd been wanting to do it for a long time. She tells her man, we're going to call him James. She tells James about it, and he is livid. He is so mad at her for exposing herself while getting the piercings and the tattoo. They're fighting about it. She leaves, she goes home, and he's still texting her. They're fighting through text, and she said she remembers her head felt fuzzy again. They make up, but he's still acting weird for the next few days, and then they go out to dinner near his house. He asks her at dinner if he can open up to her about something, if he can trust her. And she's like, of course, what's going on? And he goes, you know what, never mind. And she goes, no, tell me, like, you brought it up. Tell me what's going on. And he's like, no, I don't want to. So they did that whole back and forth. He goes, I'll tell you in private. So after dinner, they go out to his car and he goes, I'm part of a cult and we sacrifice things for the greater good. And she goes, what are you talking about? She said she was completely caught off guard, completely bewildered. She's like, what do you mean you sacrifice things for the greater good? And he's just like, you know, it's just a deal we made. And she's like, do you sacrifice humans? He's like, well, I don't, but people in my circle do. I've only sacrificed wild animals. He tells her he made a deal with a certain god and he has to live out his end of that deal for the rest of his life. And he often goes out in nature by himself and performs certain types of rituals. He says he has a box in his room of trinkets from their gatherings and it's important that she never tries to find it. He also tells her the name of this cult. She did not reveal it to me, but she said when he said the name of it, all the hairs on the back of her neck stood up. And she's like, well, what else is going on with this group? Like, can you tell me more? And he goes, you're way better off if you don't know anything about it. So she presses him for more information, which he tells her he doesn't want to talk about it anymore, but he just had to get it off his chest and tell her. So she goes home the night. She's feeling weird. She starts researching this group and she said what she found made her skin crawl and she got that fuzzy feeling in her head again. She said she felt watched for the remainder of the night, but she continued seeing James. She said she knew that he cared about her. He would do a lot of things. And other than all of this, she was happy. They were happy. She said at that point, she really hadn't had a connection like she had with him, with anybody else. And it's really hard to find genuine connections these days. Then as they went on, the more she spent time with him, the more she would have this fuzzy feeling in her head. And it didn't matter if they had had a fight or not. Like, she just didn't feel right when she was with him. Around the time after he revealed that he was part of this cult, her ex reaches out. We're just going to call him Ernie. Ernie basically tells her that he's still in love with her and he wants to try again. She doesn't say anything to James about it, but she lets Ernie back in her life. They're just texting, they're just talking, they're not physically cheating, but she says in retrospect she knows that it was emotional cheating and she knows it was wrong. One night, shortly after letting Ernie back into her life, she's over at James's house and Ernie is blowing up her phone. It's like text after text after text. So she silences her phone, but he's already noticed that her phone is blowing up and he's like, who's texting you? And she's like, oh, nobody, it's just my friend. And then he sees the name pop up. And so he wrestles her to the ground. He takes her phone and she said she doesn't really remember all the details, but that night ended up in a huge fight, ended up crying. She ended up leaving. She's asleep in bed that night. She wakes up in this half asleep, half dreamlike state. And she says she just heard whispering all around her room from multiple sources, but she opens her eyes, there's nobody there, but she hears like several people talking, whispering about her. She said her room was completely dark, even though she normally slept with a nightlight on, and she couldn't move, although she doesn't know if this was sleep paralysis or fear, but it sounded like the voices were all around her bed, standing over her bed, talking in hushed whispers, like they didn't want her to know that they were there. And she would open her eyes and look around and nobody was there, but then she noticed a shadow standing behind her door. She basically convinces herself that she is just sleeping, she's dreaming, and she closes her eyes to go back to sleep, but then she had this overwhelming sense that she was being watched, and she opened her eyes again and saw the shadow. This went on all night. She could not fall back asleep, and then she said she started hearing muffled screams coming from outside her window. It was scream after scream after scream, and then it sounded like a deep moaning. As dawn breaks and the sun is coming up, she sees a faint light through her window and the screams subside. She finally drifts off to sleep, but that morning when she woke up, she said it felt like she hadn't slept at all. She also noticed when she woke up that her whole body felt sore, and she looked down and saw blood all over her shirt because her chest piercings had started bleeding. She said at that point she had them done a little over a month prior and they had never done that before. So after this happens, combined with what she experienced, she calls James and she accuses him of using whatever he had been practicing on her. At first he brushes it off and he says, oh, when I told you that, I was just kidding. I was trying to scare you. But she said that answer didn't feel right. And so she continued accusing him. And finally she said this is verbatim because she will never forget it. He said, your God and my gods made a deal for the consequences of your actions. After he said that, she hung up the phone, she blocked him on everything, she was done. She went to her local spiritual store, she bought salt, she set protection candles, she said prayers, and she said she has not experienced her head going fuzzy like that since that happened. She said it's now been over a year since she has talked or heard from him, but she still thinks about him every now and then, and she wonders what he's up to, although she has no interest in going back. In case you wondered, it didn't work out with Ernie either. She said she's still single, and it doesn't feel like she attracts the good guys. If you have any thoughts or advice for her, feel free to leave a comment. She will be seeing this video. I'm going to send her the link once this is posted. And also, if you know what this was, or you can weigh in, please feel free to leave a comment, because I also feel like this might be related to the other cult story, which also took place in LA that I got that's earlier in this playlist. So keep sending me your spooky, weird stories that you think that nobody ever would believe. I will keep adding them to this playlist.
Have you guys heard the story of the woman that danced with the devil? Yes, I'm talking about Satan himself. This took place at the Flamingo nightclub in Stockton, California. A very handsome, elegant man entered the nightclub. All eyes were on him as he asked a very beautiful woman to dance with him. According to witnesses, they were dancing for a very, very, very long time. All of a sudden, the woman glanced down to his feet and realized that his feet were not touching the floor. The woman freaked out and let out a big scream. Then the lights went off, and once they came back on, the woman was on the floor, super cut from head to toe, bleeding. Eventually, the police came and arrested the man. They put him in the back of the police car. He was handcuffed, but all of a sudden, he vanished. They realized he vanished, and the only things that were in the car was the handcuffs. Although the woman's wounds were not lethal, she mysteriously passed away. When asked about the incident, the club owner denies that nothing ever happened. But witnesses and people that were there recall the day that the devil visited the Flamingo nightclub. Surprisingly, this is not the only story of this event. There has been many cases, many stories just like this one. This actually happened in my hometown in one of the nightclubs, and they ended up shutting it down because of that event. So I guess it's not uncommon for the devil to visit a nightclub.
Now, here's the thing. It's one thing to not like your own twin sister, but it's another when you try to take her out your whole lives. Scary story time. This story comes from this Haitian girl, and she's a twin. Let's call her Maria. Well, Maria's parents had been trying to conceive for the absolute longest, and it took years, but they finally did it. They were pregnant, and they were pregnant with Maria. They are ecstatic. They're about to have a baby. They can finally start their family. Until, right, that reference was for you. But anyway, the pregnancy is hard. Like, it is terrible. She is sick the entire 9 months, like bed rest sick. She couldn't keep anything down. It was just bad. She was in a lot of pain. It was a very, very hard pregnancy. Finally, the day comes, Maria decided that she wanted to come out. So they go to the hospital, they do the usual. After hours and hours of labor, she finally gives birth to Maria. She comes out and she's this beautiful, beautiful little girl. They are happy, and all the pain that she went through seems like it was worth it. Until Maria's mom starts screaming in pain, and she says, "I think I'm going to give birth to something else." And indeed she did. Another baby came out. Now, this was technology back in the day, so maybe they didn't get to catch Maria's twin, but it was always weird how there were almost no signs that she had a twin and there was 2 babies in her. Anyway, it happened. The second baby came out. Let's call her Sophia. The family is even more happy. It seems like this is a blessing in disguise. They were trying to have kids for years and years, and now they have 2. What could go wrong, right? They go home and everything's normal, but as the babies were growing up, they realized that Maria was a normal child, but Sophia seems a bit odd, a bit aggressive. And it just got worse over time, that eventually they even had to separate them. They couldn't even sleep together in the same crib, because Sophia would always be hurting Maria. In one instance, she took a clump of her hair out. Maria was constantly waking up with scratches from Sophia. You guys get the point. Now let's fast forward until they're about 13 years old. This is when it's starting to show that Sophia actually hates Maria. And it's not just sibling beef. So they're about 13 years old now, and there's this boy in their class that Sophia likes. And he was kind of popular, and like all the girls wanted that little boy. Maria thought he was cute, but she just wasn't like fiending over him like all the other girls were. So one day while they were outside at recess, keep in mind that they're identical twins, the little boy comes up to Maria and he says to her, "Hey, I heard that you like me and I like you too. So let's be boyfriend and girlfriend." Now, Sophia wasn't too far, and she heard this, and she was not happy. Like, she was furious, and she walked away angrily. Now, Maria didn't notice this because the little boy's talking to her. Maria says to him, "Oh, thanks, but I don't want a boyfriend, and I don't really like you like that. I think you're cute, but I don't really like you like that." The little boy goes, "Oh, our friend told me that you told her that you like me and I like you too." And Maria knows that Sophia likes him, and it clicks. And she says to him, "Oh, I'm Maria." The little boy goes, "Oh, I thought you were Sophia." But it really was just a big misunderstanding. So Maria's happy to hear that he likes Sophia back. She's like, oh my gosh, I have to go find Sophia and tell her. So she runs around and she finds Sophia. She's like, oh my gosh, Sophia, you are not gonna believe this. And Sophia, thinking that she's about to tell her that they're boyfriend and girlfriend now, didn't even let her finish and hit her on the head with a rock, y'all. A rock. She went, found a rock, waited for Maria to hit her in the head. It was this whole thing. It was a mess. Sophia was angry. She was cursing at everybody. And the little boy witnessed all that. Then it was safe to say after that, he no longer liked Sophia. Now, she gets in big trouble for this. For some reason, in Sophia's head, this was all Maria's fault. It is always her fault. The parents try to play it off as if like Sophia was just mad, it was a misunderstanding, you know, you guys are starting to have hormones. But Maria wasn't having it. She's like, this girl, my sister, has been attacking me since we were literally babies. And you guys keep making excuses for her. Now I'm like actually hurt. Like she could have killed me with that. And you guys are still making excuses for her. So she decided, as hard as it was gonna be, she needed to cut her sister off. She takes no accountability for anything, and their parents excuse everything she does. Also, I forgot to add that from the moment, like from when Maria was really young, she kept having this reoccurring dream that Sophia killed her. This was a dream that she just kept having. So now with the dream on top of everything, she has had enough. Y'all, it didn't even stop there.
So yeah, so basically in Creole or in French, you would call a twin a jumelle. So a jumelle is a pair of girl twins. A jumeau is a pair of boy twins. So when she was telling the story about the twin who basically wanted to unalive her own twin, it reminded me that I want to tell you guys about how powerful Haitian twins are. And just jumelles are basically, or jumeaux are considered like God's gift to earth, basically, right? Before they get all messed up. So if you don't know, basically in Haiti, or Haitians believe that twins have like powers, and also they're able to, communicate telepathically. So basically like telepathical, twin connection things. And also they are able to like see things that are coming, like, people doing harm to you, just basically what you would think like someone with power has. Not like physical power where they can like lift up like a whole house, but like definitely like they're seers. They can see things, they can feel things, and even like tell you if you're about to pass on. Because I know like a pair of twins that lived in the neighborhood where I was from. That's before I moved in with my sisters, because I used to live with my godmom before, which is right across the street. And we knew these twins that basically were able to tell people when they were about to die. It was crazy. Even I was young. I still remember this because it was like a phenomenon. Like it was like something weird. But in Haitian folklore, and let me know if you guys want me to make a video, like a whole video about this, but Haitians believe that twins are powerful, but they can also be messed up. So if they eat like certain food, that can mess them up where they basically forget their powers. I don't know, it's like weird, but there are food like spinach, and there's other stuff that they don't feed the twins. A lot of like we call them provisions, a lot of like herbs and stuff that they are not supposed to eat, which can in turn wound them. And I've actually seen one be wounded before. Like they were good, they were able to like do things, certain stuff, and then they ate. Well, that's what they told me, that, well, not them, that the twins said it, but their parents also confirmed this. And at first I was like, you're lying. Right? But I knew they were twins, but I thought, they were lying about like being messed up, because a lot of twins, some twins, not all twins are born with this power, but a lot of them are born with this power, and some of them will tell you, oh, somebody got them, or one got them, or one got that. Like basically I'm messed up because I ate something that I wasn't supposed to eat. So basically a lot of twins are supposed to be like vegetarians, but there's some herbs that they cannot eat, and there's some provisions that they cannot eat, which then in return will make them lose their power. So when she was talking about that, it reminded me also, not in Haiti, but here I was listening to this story time by this one Asian girl that tells stories. I mean, she's amazing. Her name is Stephanie Chu. I don't know. I'm sorry, girl, if I say your name wrong, but she's good. When she's telling you stories, she's really good. But she was telling a story about twins, and they were Asian twins. They were like the Haitian twins with powers or whatever, but they did not like each other either, because you always hear stories about twins always liking each other because they're twins. I mean, they're literally from the same sack, you know, from the same bag. So usually a lot of them are like so close to the point where it's like weird, and a lot of them are just, they have the sisterly love. You know, the Claremont twins, like the black twins from the reality TV shows, they give off like they be doing some weird stuff with each other. You know, like I see pictures of them where they're like making out, and you know, and they take pictures of like naked and their boobs are like touching each other. It's like, I get it that you're twins, but you're doing too much. It's too much. But there are some twins that they really actually have this genuine love for each other, where they're almost like they have a built-in best friend. But these twins, they hated each other. I mean, to the point where they wanted to unalive the next one. And one of them actually had her boyfriend kidnap her twin to basically kill her. And the whole time she was in jail. Like, she ended up having them do that while she was sitting in jail. And it was so weird because the one twin, she basically wanted to unalive her, almost like a doppelganger. She wanted to unalive her so she can take her place. And she actually started changing her name in important documents. This is in California. This whole thing actually happened. But San Diego, California, they came from like Japan or China, wherever, but they moved here. And their mom, I think it was like because they didn't have this connection with their mom. Their mom would leave them to go gamble and stuff. One of them became a gambler and all that. One of the twins, because she learned the habit from her mom. You know, growing up, you pick up habits. Some people pick up drinking from their parents, or some people choose not to drink and they see how it wounds the other twin, you know. But anyways, so she wanted to unalive her own twin, and I couldn't believe it. But apparently it's a phenomenon where some twins, especially if they were separated at birth, which I believe is what happened to them, they don't know how to feel about that. You know, it's like this void was missing, and all of a sudden now you have this person who looks exactly like you, who is basically taking over your life. But with her, it was like the complete opposite. Her twin was living good. She had this amazing life, and the other twin was basically struggling. She was fighting for her life on the other side of town. And then finally she was like trying to become her twin, to the point where she hired people, like a murder for hire thing, to unalive her twin so she can take over her life, so she could live a good life. You know, it was so weird. It was so weird. But twins are definitely a very interesting pair of people. And even though like I was already born, I always wished, that's like my wish, I wanted to be a twin. Like, I always wanted to have someone that I care about so much, not to the point where I'm like the Claremont twins, but care about so much because, you know, at one point I had to get a cat just to make sure that I have feelings, you know. Sorry guys, don't come for me, okay? I had to get a cat just to feel like I have something to be responsible for, because I'm just like, you know, just wherever the wind take me, because hell, I ain't got no kids and I'm just living my life, okay? But sometimes I wish I had a twin, because I feel like that friendship, I always envy the friendship of like twins. But then when you have a twin like that who's trying to unalive you, who wants a twin? You know, so yeah, when I thought about it, I was like, girl, aren't y'all supposed to be like the best of friends? And you're supposed to love this person more, like you're supposed to know them like the back of your hand, and you're trying to unalive your own twin? She looked just like you. Can you, when you were doing that, I guess that's why she hired someone, because how would you be able to do that to your own twin? Because it looked like you're the one laying on the floor. Crazy. You know, if that was to happen, to get to that part. But yeah, twins are definitely interesting. If you guys want me to talk about Haitian twins, and also there's these African god twins, they're called, oh my god, what do you call it? I mentioned in another video, I just had like a brain fart. The Ibejis, like the twins, they're the Ibejis. I will talk about that. Whenever Beyonce was pregnant with her twins, she took a picture and it represents like the Orishas with the twins, like with the African twins. I'll get into that. Let me know in the comment section if you guys want me to talk about that more. But I always find twins to be fascinating. And if you're a twin, if you have a twin, let me know. Put that twin emoji. Let me know, because I really I wish I had a twin. And twins are one of my family. I actually have one pair of twin cousins, and one of them passed. And I was like, it's not funny because he passed so young. And I'm like, dang. And I think we had like another cousin that are twin girls. And then, there's another twin in my godmom's family. But guess what? So it's two boys, right? And in Haiti, back in the days, gays were not accepted, let me tell you. And so my godmom's best friend is gay. But when he was gay and he was out there, he was really out there, gays were not even allowed to walk the streets. That's how bad it was. Now it's a lot better, thank goodness. But it was crazy. But anyway, so my godmom's family on her husband's side, they have twins, and it's a pair of boys, right? And they're both gay. And this man literally wanted to unalive his own kids because they were both gay. And because those are the only kids he had. And I do not condone that at all, because I have gay people in my family and I have nothing against gay. Look, the best people I've ever been friends with were gays, okay? So, but anyways, yeah, he didn't want that because he wanted to have grandkids, and he was blessed with gay twins and they didn't have kids. So anyways, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. I do love twins. Let me know if y'all want me to make a video about the African twins and the Haitian twins and the importance of twins. All right, bye.
I was looking into Michigan for some spooky, scary stories, okay? And that was the next state after Oklahoma and Wyoming. I think those were the last two that I did, but I can't remember because there's so many. However, I'm following the list, promise. I found this one in the subreddit Paranormal, Interesting Encounter in Michigan Forest. This is a true story that happened when I was 16, maybe 17, in the woods in Leelanau County, Michigan. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. I was on vacation with family in northern Michigan when we visited a family member who had lived in the center of the county in a dense forest. I remember when we pulled up the road, the house was on the gravel road instead of a paved road. I remember looking down the gravel road and seeing it go down a hill and turn to the left in the forest. A few hours passed by and I decided to go and check out where the gravel road went. I remember feeling extremely nervous because we were in the black bear country, as I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago and never experienced bears before. When I had gotten to the top of the hill, I remember hearing birds chirping and lots of frogs croaking. The forest felt alive and I did not feel terribly unsafe, only nervous because of the possible presence of bears. As I started walking down the hill, I started whistling the Hunger Games 4-tone whistle. As I got midway down the hill, I noticed that the birds and frogs stopped making noise and the forest fell silent. At this point, my instincts kicked in and I knew something was wrong. I remembered learning that the forest goes silent when there's a predator around. Yet, I still kept going down the hill. I was determined to know what was at the bottom of this hill. I was still whistling the same 4-tone whistle when I heard something whistle it back. Perfectly. It made the same exact sound that I made. It sounded very oddly humanoid, like there was a person watching me, like a predator. I remember being frozen in fear, just staring at the area of the forest that it came out of, before returning and walking back up the hill. When the house came into view again, I sprinted until I got inside and did not leave anyone's sight for the rest of the night. Since then, I have not had any encounters like this and I've never been back to that area. I don't know if it was something paranormal or an actual person watching me. Both equally terrify me to this day. If anyone knows any legends from northern Michigan, Leelanau County, Michigan, please let me know. Ooh, you know how I feel about people watching you. You know? I mean, to be honest, so, like, an actual person scares me more than paranormal. 100%. All day, every day. Especially if it's a man. I genuinely am far more afraid of regular humans than I am of the paranormal. This, however, is extremely creepy. I don't know why, but for some reason it makes it even creepier that it was the Hunger Games whistle. I don't know if there's trauma there or something, but
Hey Hey guys, I'm Jenny and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teach you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It show you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, I show you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell. So if you're in a bind for some money and you're just trying to get some money, and I even have some easy, powerful spell to win game of chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to sender. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. As long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copying. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, content every day for you guys to enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my channel. Okay, love you guys. Mwah.